Richie Furay from his first solo album. And the album is called I've Got a Reason. And Richie is visiting with us in the studio today, and I'm sorry, but that has to be my first question. Okay, you've got a reason? What is it, Richie?
Well, I've Got a Reason is a summary of probably my whole musical career up until now. There was a gap of about 8 years that covered Buffalo Springfield, Poco, and Souther Hillman Furay, and then there was a gap of 2 years where I really found out the reason. I took time off to really study, sort of just take a look inside, you know, to see what kept the songs coming, and the gift expression that I have is music. And that is basically what the reason is, you know. It's a gift. And I enjoy making music.
I see I'm pronouncing your name wrong. It's Furay.
Furay.
With the accent on the last syllable. Is that French?
It is French.
Yes, of course. I should have known that, but we have a tendency to anglicize everything. Okay. When you say you took the 2 years off because to kind of realize that you have a gift, am I correct in repeating what I have heard, and that was that you were experiencing a religious calling?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm an old-fashioned Bible-believing Christian, and that's what my experience was in that respect of my life.
And did you not make any music at all in that period?
No, I didn't. Well, after SHF, I took about 8 months off. It had been pretty hectic for 8 years. Musician's life is it's a very demanding life, and I hadn't had the proper amount of time to spend with my family and to really just get a perfect balance between my job and my personal life. And so I needed to take that time off. It was important to me and my family, and
well, now that you've done it, as you turn around and kind of look back, do you feel that you did accomplish anything? Was it important?
Absolutely. I think finding that perfect balance, I'm starting off now again to try and make the musical aspect of it fit into place with my personal life. No longer is the music going to control my life.
Is that what happened before?
Yes, yeah.
When you say the music, not the kind of music, but the life you had to lead, is that it?
The striving, the demanding, the demands that it puts upon, you know, traveling, hotels, just, you know, it's just a routine.
But can you ever be really successful, Richie, without those demands?
Well, it all depends on what the definition of success is.
Well, you may have one definition, but then your record company may have another definition.
Well, we're going to have to find that perfect balance, too. I think during my earlier career, especially during the Poco time, it was strive, hit record, and just go. I still, you know, hope that this album that I put out now and the ones in the future, you know, will be as successful, not more successful, but at the same time, I just can't let that control my life.
It would seem to me that if you wanted to give less, and when I say give less, I don't mean it in any derogatory term, or I turn around and say have the career steal less from your personal life, that having the balance of other people might make the demands on you 1/3 less. Like, for instance, when you were Souther Hillman Furay, I would have thought that keeping that going would have demanded less from you than to be a soloist.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it would work that way.
No.
I think by this being my own group, it's less of an emotional demand on me, and that you have to take that into consideration also.
Is that you're not responsible for anybody else's problems and characteristics and all of that?
Absolutely.
This is your own band, of course,
it is.
and they'll travel with you. And will you then, for instance, concertize less than you were?
Well, if the comparison is Poco, yes. There's a certain amount of concerts, you know, that you have to do. When you put out a record, you have to promote it.
Yes.
And I believe in this record. I'm proud of it. I think, you know, it's really
It's
good
a lovely
music.
album.
Thank you. And I want to promote it. And I love to perform. you know, and
But you just don't want to go overboard.
that's right.
I can buy that. We're going to take a moment here, Richie, with your permission, for a word from Army Reserve. Richie Furay from his first solo album, and it is indeed a lovely collection of songs, and one that we've all waited for such a long time. Richie's visiting with us in the studio today. And during those 2 years that you made us wait, Richie, I'm going to make you feel very guilty now, did you ever say to yourself, oh, you know, I really wish I were out gigging, or, I mean, at any point, did you feel that you'd made the wrong decision?
No, not at all. I had certain personal things that I had to take care of, and at the same time, I live in Colorado, and there were a lot of things there that I hadn't taken time to appreciate. Not only my family, but also the area. I've gotten into fishing and backpacking and camping, just spending a lot of time with my family.
You were born there, though, weren't you?
No, I was born in Ohio. I grew up in Ohio.
How come you chose Colorado? Just
It was, we wanted to leave California. I liked the peacefulness of it. I didn't know, actually, at first, if I would like Colorado when I moved there, but I wanted to give it a try, and so Poco all actually moved there, and I was the only one that stayed.
How many children do you have?
I have two little girls, Timmy Sue and Katie.
How nice.
Yeah.
And you really are close to the family,
Oh,
aren't you?
yes.
Would you say, I would say that's unusual for a quote, rock performer. Do you feel that's true? Most of them are not as family-oriented as you seem to be.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that that's right for me.
The man's being non-committal. I don't blame you. I suppose you can't speak for anyone else. We're going to take a moment here for a word from Army Reserve, with your permission. Do you know where to look for great music, and the kind of music that we've kind of come to expect from a Richie Furay album? You've had in a short time, really, I mean, comparatively short time, 8 or 9 years, such an enormous part in the formation of the sound of music as we know it today. Looking back, can you just, off the top of your head, tell me what you feel were the high spots in your career, the most exciting things that happened to you in your progress from Buffalo all the way to where you are today?
Well, I think the fact that the Buffalo Springfield was such a recognized band, and the first band that I was involved with just had to be a high point. You know, that the music that that I was involved with would have such a meaning to so many people.
It still does, you know.
Yeah, it does, and that's neat. And I think that has to be. It makes me feel really good, and that it would continue through Poco, you know, and on up to this point right now, you know, that people are concerned enough or interested enough,
Yes.
you know, in the feeling and the musical expression that I have.
Why did Buffalo really break up?
Well, Buffalo Springfield was a strange group. It got started in 1966, and it was actually a new era for that type
Certainly was.
of a situation. And there were 9 people in and out of the band, and over a 2-year span, that's not very long at all, and it just never could really get a solid foundation. There were just too many different changes in and out, and so it couldn't just solidify.
Some of the most brilliant musicians around today were in Buffalo. We're going to take another moment here, with your permission, Richie, for a word from Army Reserve.
You have it.
You like what you're